Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Vival Talks. We have been doing these talks for since the beginning of this year when we kicked off the first event preparations, and we have been doing it with our past participants, with our contributors, and today we have dear Lotus with us today. Hi, how are you, Lotus?
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm great. I'm really good. I'm enjoying Greece. So I'm in a really good place.
We are really close now. Lars, by the way, where are you?
I'm in Amsterdam next to a speaker, enjoying the vibes that Lotus will be playing during our event in Sevilla. But I guess sometimes for a webinar it might not be the best situation. But I had a bit of unlucky vibes when I was in the quiet zone. There was a laptop-free area, so they want you to have personal connections. I'm all about that. But when you want to do a webinar, it might not be the best the best outcome for yourself.
So we wanted to give you a sneak peek to our audience, a sneak peek of the vibe of Vival. So that's why we intentionally actually chose that.
The music, I love it.
Okay, so let's start with the story behind Avnea. You are just like building something really great in Crete in Greece. So how did you come up with that idea? How did you decide on the location? What's so special about that location and the retreat that you are building now?
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, first of all, actually, Avnea really started from my own journey. Like I was always traveling, and then 3.5 years ago, decided to go fully nomadic. So I left everything behind in Amsterdam and really went for travel full time. And at the moment, I had a YouTube. At that moment, I had a YouTube channel, and I was in social media consulting, and I was relying on good Wi-Fi. And I started off my journey in Mexico. And it was really hard to find good Wi-Fi at the time in Puerto Escondido, where I was, which is, by the way, a place that I really love so much and where everything started. So then I found like a Selena, which is a co-working space. It was the only place with good Wi-Fi. And then I experienced for the first time really the power of this community, if when like entrepreneurs, remote workers, when we all come together in a nice environment where we are just co-working and collaborating and growing together. So that's actually where Avnea started, because I experienced it myself and how fast I grew through being a part of that. And then I just decided, like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to organize experiences for other people, because there are so many entrepreneurs and so many remote workers just working from home alone, just doing everything by themselves. And I think like there's a huge opportunity to bring these people together. So that's how it started. So we started in Mexico, because that was where I was based at the time. Then we did Bali this year in Indonesia. And now I am actually based in Greece. And I see a huge opportunity here that Greece has everything for remote workers. It's so beautiful and it's really well located in the world as well. But there's not that much happening yet for our communities, I would say. And I'm also really now in a phase where I'm like, I want to see how we can make a better impact. So how like remote workers that we can bring everywhere, how we can actually go to places where we can still have a positive impact on the change that we are making in these places. So that's a little bit how the idea came to kind of start doing things in villages, because I think a lot of people have seen these ads sometimes where like villages in Italy or in Greece, they are going empty and it's just old people living there. And then they're looking for young people to come in with new ideas. And that's a little bit what inspired me. So a bit like, yeah, there are all these villages in these Mediterranean places that are empty in winter. They have some tourism in the summer, but then in winter, they really still need people. There's so much space to do really amazing things. So that's why I started now the concept of like the Avnea village, where it's basically 30 remote professionals coming to this really authentic small village here on Crete, and just going to embrace and experience a village life, a slower pace of life, and at the same time really grow and connect with fellow entrepreneurs and creatives. And yeah, it's quite special.
Wow, that's quite a story, and I would like to highlight because you mentioned really something very important, giving back to the community, doing something, making this to be an impact driven thing, so that you are just like giving back to the community, helping the community as well. Because usually what we see is people think that digital nomads are like these backpackers, and they're just like exploiting the local resources. They're just like there for a certain period of time, and it's just like not doing good for the locals. But the fact that you're mentioning now, it is like having more meaning into it, and just like being conscious and being meaningful. So I would like to ask you about that perspective. How are you making and creating your experiences so that they are impact driven? Your participants are also part of co-creating that meaningfulness as part of your retreats.
Yeah, I think it really starts with how we even built this community. So everyone that is part of Avnea and that's joining our experiences is like kind of selected, is maybe too big to say, but we have a call with everyone that wants to join an experience. So we really know our community really well. So it already starts there, that it's also like we are mindful and conscious people and growth oriented, and people that would love to contribute in some kind of way, but often don't also really know how to do that. So I think it starts a little bit there. And then it starts with, we have this personal conversation with everyone. So we also get to see really like where these people thrive, what's their expertise, what can they bring to others. And we also really see like, I don't really see it that we are the retreat organizers. I see it as we are community, and I'm just facilitating, right, and bringing everyone together, because that's what we do. But we are all together creating this experience. So the more we all put into it or come into it with like an open heart and an open mind, the better the experience is going to be for everyone. So there we also really look at, like, what's your expertise? What would you like to share with the rest? So if I know that someone is really passionate about breath work, I will ask the person, hey, would you love to maybe facilitate like a breath work session in the morning? Or if I know that someone is like a super entrepreneur and like really experienced in how to run teams remotely, I just say something, then I ask, hey, would you like to do a skill share on that? Because, a lot of us are kind of scaling our businesses, and it would be super valuable to learn from you how you've been doing that. So I think there it's a big part of the meaningful aspect is that everyone feels also that they're contributing. And then in the case of where we are now, like we're doing this in Crete, we're also looking really exactly at the local communities and how we can learn from where we are. So now that we're going to be in Crete, we will really engage with activities specific that you can do here. So that comes then a little bit more to like, oh, it's the season now, a year of the olive trees. Like, let's all go harvest the olive trees together. So it's like, it's a little bit, a little bit of everything that comes together, I think, which makes it meaningful.
I think leadership has changed over the past decade, where it's a lot about control in the past, and now it's a lot more about empowering others. Like, you facilitate the container, like just like Vivel is just a container. It's not you have, like, when you do a DJ set or a workshop, or you speak on a panel, or you provide a lunch and learn, in the end, it's like you are creating that on your own terms. We just facilitated the container that you have the ability to do it. And I think that's the future of leadership, because before it was like control. It's like, Lotus, you have to play these 50 songs, or Lotus, we want you to do this exact workshop. Like, that's the past. We are moving away from that leadership style, and we're going towards a leadership style where we said, we might curate more, but we trust you that you will deliver what we believe is right for the overall container. And that trust, I think it's trust. If you believe in that trust, if you believe in your true 100 fans, because I do think that your concept is built upon the same principles as ours, where you want 100 true fans that can be sustainable in the future. Like, I'm working on a real estate concept where people can finance their houses with their 100 true fans. I think that that's the future of a lot of these things, right? Building out these villages in rural areas with your 100 true fans, building events like ours, building retreats like yours with your 100 true fans is sustainable across the board. You don't need a million followers. You don't need like crazy presence. You just need 100 people that believe in the same things as you and consistently build upon that. So I'm 100% on the same page on both the rural areas and on building out experiences that are not about you, but they're about what other people can co-create with you.
Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, as Lars was saying, this is exactly what we are building upon. Like, we are just like creating a community. So it's like more like an ecosystem where it feeds itself, it's just like self-sustains itself. And what are some things that you are doing in terms of community building and how you are just, nurturing your community and making it into something that's, is everyone is benefiting from it?
Yeah, we of course we create a program during our experiences. So whether it's like a retreat or more like this, where it's a month-long village life experience, we always have the same core program, let's say, that just works really well for growth, connection, and community. So we actually built around that. So it goes from like mindful morning activities, which help us to connect with ourselves, connect with our environment, connect with the nature, connect also with the people around us. So we will have like several mindful morning activities, which can be from dance, like a DJ set, and it's in the morning, start dancing all together. Or it could be a hike, or like meditation, or yoga, or cacao ceremony, or anything to start your day, in my opinion, in the best way possible. And then it's like we just co-work. Everyone has their own projects. You just do whatever you are running at that moment. And then in the afternoons, we usually have workshops where it's more about the aspect growth. So there we, as Avnea, we facilitate certain workshops that are really ours, but we also exactly give the stage to everyone that's joining. So we'll have like skill shares that go in all different directions. And also masterminds, so we can actually all get input from each other, and grow something that we're working on. And then there's the community aspect. So we have like community activities. So that's really from bonfires in the evening, sharing circles, like cozy gatherings, movie nights. That's more just really like, how do you feel as a community? What do you do with your community? What would you do with your family and friends, right? So I think it's always those three things that come back in every experience that we do. And that is what creates all of that.
Yeah. That's amazing. Now I'm at Purgas Co-Living, by the way, and as part of the Co-Living Wellness program by Co-Living Chateau. And as you described, it's just like, everyone here is kind of like the family wives, and everyone's contributing. So because this is an experience where it is co-created with everyone. So it's not only the person who owns it, but it's like, everyone is just like owning the experience, because even without one person, it's not going to be the same experience. So that's how we have been feeling about our event too, because like you start planning for something, but you never know how it's going to happen in reality. And it's those people, it's your community that's making it turn into a reality. So I'd like to ask you about like how you connected with Vivel, because what you have been saying about how you built your community, how you built your business resonates so much with what we have been doing with Vivel. And how did that connect with you?
I mean, I've been following you guys from when you started, or actually just before your first experience, and I just felt very aligned with what you were communicating. Like I thought that exactly it's very aligned to build a community in such a way, and to meet in like really amazing places around the world, and bring all these different elements where it's like music, but also networking and Web3 in your case, like bring these different things together. So I felt straight away, that I'm very connected to, and then especially also the music part, because music is also, it's a really big part of my life, and it has been a really big part of Avnea as well. I think that's also what we've been doing a little bit different, that music and dance is always a very big aspect of what you would say is like a retreat. Then we got in contact in general. I really wanted to join you guys in Cappadocia. Unfortunately, timing was not exactly right. And then this time, I'm super excited that I can join in Sevilla, and that I can also contribute with my music to the program. So I think that's the whole overall connection that we have going on here.
Yeah, we're so much looking forward to it, by the way, meeting you in person as well. Lars, you want to say something?
I mean, I think that people underestimate the power of music and the power of dance as well. I think that I feel like when I started the conversations with Mine a year and a half ago, I was very adamant. Like she could probably say that I was like, this is there's no compromise on this. I said there has to be electronic music in this particular vibe, in this particular exact like that hypnosis type of music side. Like I think that that's key to people being able to be drawn together. I said it's the extra element that makes it different from a nomad base. And all these communities, I think they miss the mark on the quality of the type of music that you can provide when you're doing it in this holistic way, where it's like, okay, it's about co-creating. So you need DJs, like, so the essential, like you have like ingredients, we have ingredients too. We feel the same, and we're very similar ingredients. Like our ingredient, you mentioned workshops. We are very big on workshops, and we tell every workshop facilitator it's about interaction. It's about when there's 12 people in your group, how can those 12 people feel like they're not strangers anymore? That's the only thing that we give as like a given. It's like you do what you believe can help and facilitate growth in for what reason doesn't matter. But as long as you don't make it a monologue where you're talking about how you make 7 figures, then it's okay. Same, we don't do any keynote talks because we believe monologues where one person just talks about one thing is not interactive and makes people fall asleep. But if you have interactive living room conversations, people feel like they want to join in. Afterwards, they want to like talk about certain things you said, because it feels not so much about one person, it's about a collective. And that, I think those ingredients make it that people feel like belonging. Like we've got long messages in our private Telegram group. We got people posting on LinkedIn without us asking, just sharing how crazy of a connection experience this was. And those people still support each other in their own things. People visit each other in different places in the world because they want to see those people again. Then it is not about Vivel, it's not about Avnea, it's not about Mine, it's not about Lars, it's not about Lotus. It's about finding the people that you can continuously build upon.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, so Lotus, if someone wants to become part of the Avnea experience, how do you have availability for the one that's upcoming? And would this be the right place to go if they want to join you?
We unfortunately had a few issues with visas for people that couldn't join us last minute. So that makes that we have 2 spots. It's still possible to join. We start in a week from now, 8 days exactly. So people can still join in on that. It's also fine to come a few days later, and indeed through the website avnea.com. And then you just schedule a call there and you'll talk to me, because we like to keep it very personal. So yeah, it's still possible.
Yeah, so just like you mentioned, we also have a curation process. So if anyone who's watching us is interested in becoming part of Vivel community as well, we have a curation process where you book a call and you get to meet Lars and have a short call so that we welcome you into the community. And to do so, this is the link to our website where you can see more information about the Sevilla event that's upcoming, and like a footage from the last event that we had in Cappadocia, so you get the feel and you get the vibe and to see if it's a good fit for you. Lotus, coming back to your story about being a digital nomad. So if anyone's just like wondering what a digital nomad does, how can they just embrace that lifestyle? Do you have some, quick tips about how to kickstart your digital nomad life?
How to kickstart the digital nomad life, you said, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's at the moment it's becoming very fluid anyway. So I think that right now what like a digital nomad is, I don't know. I think people have an idea about it, like we're digital nomads, you can travel the world and work from the beaches and stuff. But I think it's changing a little bit. So I think that right now a lot of people can kind of kickstart their digital nomad or remote work journey. Like we have so many people that are fully nomadic that join us, but we also have people that really use this experience, for instance, to have a first experience as a digital nomad. So I think that in general this is something different for everyone. But yeah, a really good way is, for instance, to join an experience. So exactly, to join like either a conference or a co-living or a retreat. Like this is a really good way to tap into this lifestyle, to meet other people, because I know for myself, I always had this dream to become a location independent entrepreneur, not necessarily digital nomad, but always this dream to be able to travel. And I remember that when I just had my life in Amsterdam and, I was working more in the fashion industry and with social media, that it was really hard for me to imagine how to actually do it or how to start or what that would actually look like. Whereas when I started surrounding myself by the right people, or just I went on my first trip, then all of a sudden it was like, wait, there are so many people doing this and there are so many people doing that in their unique way. So I think, yeah, if you want to kickstart that, definitely like reach out to any like a community that matches your vibe, your intention, your personality, and yeah, see where you can join in on. Reach out to people, like just start a conversation, basically, like reach out to some nomads that you might follow, or like everyone. I'm sure that everyone's super happy to share their journey.
I have another question I would like to ask you as well. So, obviously, when people are listening, they see probably a lot of overlaps. And I think also, I'm gonna sketch a painting here. In the past, this would be seen as competition, so I should stay far away from you. Or I should like say, no, don't join that. You should join us. Like, so how do you feel about the differences between collaboration versus competition when it comes to like you followed along because you resonated with what we were doing, and that could feel in the past as like, okay, that's competition. So what is your viewpoint on collaboration versus competition?
Yeah, I find this super interesting because, starting this whole journey now, I'm meeting a lot of entrepreneurs that have some kind of similar visions or are organizing retreats. And yeah, a lot of who became like even really close friends. And then we're also sometimes like, yeah, in a way, people could see it that we're competition. But I personally, I do not believe in competition, because I believe if you do something that's so authentically close to who you are or your vision as a business, then you don't really have competition, because there's no one going to be doing it exactly the way that you are doing, even if they would try to copy you or something. I just think that your vision on Vivel, like, yeah, it's not the same as Avnea, of course. Like, because maybe we have like a lot of similarities, but it's a different concept. So yeah, first of all, I don't really believe in competition. And then I do believe so much in collaboration. And I believe so much that, the world is huge. This is growing so fast, the whole remote work world and location independent entrepreneurs. I believe there's space for all of us. And I believe that if we want to do something bigger, if we want to make like an impact in the world, like, yeah, we should totally work together. And we have the same vision of wanting to just create really meaningful experiences for people. And if that's our purpose, then I don't think, yeah, that it's competition, right? Then I would want my people as much to enjoy your experience as well, because it's super cool what you're doing. So yeah.
There's a new word that's created: co-opetition.
Ah,
Co-opetition. Yes.
co-opetition.
Yes.
Maybe that's the
so that you are just like, not competing with each other, but you're just like, collaborating and creating the competition in a way that you are self-growing and helping each other's growth so that you're exponentially growing. And as you said, I mean, it's just like, whoever is part of our community could benefit from your community. So it's actually a cross pollination between the communities where we are just like learning from each other and just through competition, growing together and just like, creating even more experiences, creating more impact. I think, we are now in some kind of an era where this is working, like cooperation is working, collaboration is working, because we have limited resources, we have limited time and energy. So using it wisely, using it in a more productive way, so that we are just like leveraging each other's powers and strengths to create something more impactful for the humankind and also for our world.
The
So
feedback loop. I think that's the feedback loop as well. If you look at joining different communities, it's like it's a feedback loop for yourself as well, where you're joining in and you might learn from the experience that you have to be able to implement that in some way or form as well. And I even think that people that are part of a community, let's say someone says during one of Lotus's retreats, like, hey, I want to do this yoga session. Now there is actually like a way to get feedback upon trying that, right? It's like,
Yeah.
what's the first step to digital nomadism is taking the action. The first step to starting a business is also taking action. And the first step to getting your first customer is also taking action. But if you have feedback upon that, that feedback loop is super valuable. So I think that that's why collaboration works so well, is because it's a faster way of generating feedback. And when you have better feedback, you can build a product that is more in line with what most people might want from the different target audience that you might go after. And I think that is something that sustainable ecosystems can provide. And it's different from just a one-off event or a one-off retreat, because I think those don't work in that way. Like, you don't get true feedback. It's more like instant gratification. And that is, again, if we separate past from future, past is instant gratification. If you want long-term growth, you need to have a feedback loop. You need to have a place to continuously come back to. And we don't have enough time to be joining 50,000 communities. So we have to be very selective in who has long-term growth in mind, and not just one time, let's learn how I make 7 figures. And then after that session is over, it's like, I don't really know how I make 7 figures. And I don't really have access to this person that knows how to make 7 figures. So what did I just pay for? And that is the difference, I think, between concepts like yours and like ours versus some other concepts that might give you the carrot, but they don't give you the solution of long-term growth. And I think if we have to build stuff, build it with a long-term vision, not a short-term vision. So I prefer to build slowly, like you build one village at a time. You don't try to change the world by like taking over the US. No, you start by building one village, and then that village might lead to the second village, and that might lead to the third village. But you have to start small. And I love the number 30 that you said. We believe also in like not a retreat style, like too small, like 10 is maybe not enough to make true impact, longevity, but 200 or 500 might be already too many people. So where is that perfect ground? And I love the number 30 for what you're doing. I think it's like, it sounds like a great number to really know everyone, but at the same time still have a feeling of freedom to meet other people in that environment. So again, I just want to say that I love the vision behind the village. I'm a big supporter of that. I think it's even like leveling up your retreat business to like that's like the next stage, the next level. So yeah, I'm a big fan, and I hope that people listening in take a look at it and even take inspiration from it. I love to see more villages, more things, like let people share this vision and take this rural area approach, because I think it's very in line with where we're heading as a society. So you're in the early stage of this whole movement.
Thank you.
So, by the way, Lotus, you have a question coming from audience. Does Avnea have a yacht harbor? Do you have a yacht harbor?
A
Maybe
yacht?
Levant is in. Yes, maybe Levant is interested to come by his yacht and
A,
ask you
y-
for a yacht harbor.
a yacht harbor. Well, we
Yeah.
are like in the mountains, so unfortunately we don't have a yacht harbor, but we are on an island on Crete. So I'm sure Crete has many harbors, and that there's an easy way to get to the mountains here. But no, we don't have that.
So Levant, if you own a yacht, you can actually go to Crete and go up the mountain to join the Avnea community. Okay, so we are just about time. Do you have any final remarks?
No, just yeah, thank you so much, guys, for having me. Super nice to connect. I'm really excited to meet you in person, and yeah, your whole community. Like I said, I love what you guys are doing. So I'm super happy to also be part of that and to be able to join this time. So I'm just excited. Like I'll finish off my experience here, and I think it's like 12 days later I'll be on my way to Spain. So yeah, I'm just excited. Thank you so much.
We are so much looking forward to it too. And so for our audience, just a reminder, our second edition of Vival is going to be in Sevilla from 12th to 14th of December. And if you are interested in joining the community and the event, this is the link that you can visit to see the past experience in Cappadocia and also the details about the next event in Sevilla. And you will find the link there. And if
Two
you have
regular
any
tickets
questions,
left. I'm just
yeah,
gonna
two
say it.
regular tickets. Yeah,
Two
with the
regular tickets
accommodation.
left.
Exactly. So, I mean, time is running up. So it's just like, be quick, grab one of those tickets. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn or at this email address, connect@vival.xyz. We are so much looking forward to welcoming new community members and also meeting you all in person in Sevilla. Until the next time, see you everyone and take care. And Lotus, thank you so much for spending today with us. And also, thank you so much for your contribution to co-create the next event together. Bye,
Looking
everyone.
forward. Bye.
Bye.